Your neighbor, tell him he's able. And so instead of God allowing the Hebrew boys to be destroyed in the fire, God allows the men who threw them in to be destroyed. And then he allows them to be visited by a fourth man in the fire. And it is here that Nebuchadnezzar says, wait a minute. And he begins to praise God and worship God. So God repeatedly shows himself mighty to Nebuchadnezzar. And it's basically telling him, I'm the one that's in control and not you. And when you understand that in your life, you'll stop tripping on other folk. Because a lot of times we got a problem because we want to be in control. Look at your neighbor, tell him you can't control everything. And when we are not in control, we get a little nervous because we feel sometimes that things are not going to go the way we want them to go. But if God is in control, I don't have to be. If God is in control, I don't have to be. I don't have to be the captain of the team in order for God to be in control. I can be a player. Matter of fact, I can be sitting on the bench, just a member of the team, and God is still in control. And so while these boys are in this fire, God is really getting the glory because Nebuchadnezzar is seeing something he's never seen before. But I want you to understand this man is still going to be judged. He's still got to be judged because God has said in his word, he says, listen, I'm going to cause your kingdom to be shaken out from under you, but it's only going to be for a season. And here's what I love about God. In his sovereign nature, he puts a time limit on your trial. In his sovereign nature, God says, I'm going to hit my stopwatch. I'm going to call time out after you have had enough, after I brought you through enough, because now all my eternal purposes in that situation have been worked out. And so what you got to understand is God has a time limit for your suffering. Doesn't mean that you won't ever go through, but it just means there's a time limit for your suffering. We don't get to determine that time limit. Only God does. And when you understand the sovereign nature of God, you begin to rest in knowing God is in control of this. This cannot last always. We have heard songwriters, we have heard songs where people have said, I'm so glad trouble don't last always. The Bible says weeping endure for a night, which represents a season, but joy comes in the morning. Look at somebody near you and tell them there's a time limit to your trial. There's a time limit to your suffering. And so what that teaches me is that God is able. It teaches me that he's able to sustain me in the trial, but it also teaches me that he is able to turn the trial around, and then he's able to deliver me in it. He's able to deliver me from it. He's able to deliver me through it. He is able. Look at your neighbor and tell him God can get you through that. He can get the victory for you. And so the scripture reminds us something about the capability and the power of God. God is the one who opened up the Red Sea, divided the waters, and caused the walls of water to stand up so that the children of Israel could come through on dry ground. It's the same God who opened up the Red Sea that caused a plague to come into Egypt, or plagues to come into Egypt, so that Pharaoh's heart would be troubled, so that he would release the Israelites and let God's people go. It's the same God who caused the sun to stand still. It's the same God who caused the sun to go back 10 degrees. It's the same God who sent ravens, dirty birds, to feed Elijah while he was in the wilderness. The same God who takes the nature of a thing, makes it contradict itself just so it can bless you. By that I mean God will take folk who don't know you, people who don't like you, and move their heart and their hand and make them bless you. Look at your neighbor, tell him he's able. Oh, I'm trying to encourage somebody's heart today, because the same God who opened up the Red Sea is the same God who caused an axe head to float on water. When's the last time you dropped a piece of metal in water and you saw it float? Drop a penny in water and I promise you it'll sink to the bottom. But the God that we serve, the one who is able, can take the head of an axe and allow it to float on top of water. He gives it buoyancy. Look at your neighbor and tell him that's why you don't have to worry about being overcome by what you're dealing with, because the weight of your pressure in your life doesn't have greater buoyancy than the Spirit of God in you. That's why when it looks like you're going down for the last count, tell your neighbor, I gotta come back up, because the Holy Ghost has put buoyancy in my spirit. Look at somebody, tell them, booyah. That means I'm getting ready to bounce back. Booyah. That means when I hit the bottom, I can't do nothing but come back up to the top. Why? Not because I'm great, but because he's able. Look at somebody near you and tell them, my God is able.